we are back for another video, and today I just want to talk about another work horror story that I had place in 2021. This is back when I was working at a a local hospital in Philadelphia. So I worked in the nutrition and dietetics department. So I worked where the food for the patients was being made. And I didn't work in a direct, what's it called? The direct kitchen. I worked in the more of the office department. So I was the person on the computer. I was like taking the phone calls and stuff like that. So I was more like on the receptionist end, but I still would have contact with the nurses, and sometimes I would have contact with the people who were um, making the plates and also preparing the food. I mean, hospital food for me, it gets a bad rap because I always ate. The food was always good to me. I mean, chicken could have been seasoned a little bit more, but I understand they have to make it that way. So I just really understand why. And just, me reflecting on this, like I see a lot of people like post online and even say in person, like, listen, don't go to work to make friends. I go to work and then I go home. And I really understand that because a lot of people who you tend to work with, they like to cause chaos. They like to they want to trick you out your spot. They're miserable in their own lives, so they want to cause misery to other people. And I understand people that just want to just stay to themselves and do that. Now, me, I like conversating with co-workers and stuff like that, but I definitely understand where some of those people are coming from, especially the older you get. Because I started working, my first job was around 16, 17. And as I've gotten older, I'm 29 now, and as I've gotten older, it's just like, yeah, you just like don't want to deal with the bullshit sometimes. Or I had this incident with this coworker, and she was one of the line cooks. It was already a lot of chaos going on in that department, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of disrespecting the managers, a lot of cattiness. I mean, a lot of women did work there. It was a lot of cattiness, just a lot of chaos, and it just was a lot going on. Now, me, I didn't like to get, well, I did get into the gossip, but I wasn't trying to cause harm to anybody else. But it was some other instances that I got into, but this one sticks out the most. I don't know if it was my particular computer, but it seemed like every time I was trying to print, the print would kind of get messed up when I was doing everything the same as everyone else. And I just would feel so bad because it would get them messed up and backed up. So this particular day, I did everything to the T. It got messed up and it got backed up, and I felt like shit. I felt horrible. So then the woman who's on the line that's preparing the plate, she comes in and she starts getting very aggressive. And I'm like, hold on, hold on. I'm like, ma'am, who are you talking to? Okay, I understand it was a mistake. You don't have to get disrespectful. She's like, this happens all the time and this blah, 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 blah. So it gets very heated. We're going back and forth, back and forth. And this is in the middle. Like, I think it's lunchtime. So the tickets need to be printed and stuff. And now me and her are in there and we're having this heated argument debate. I'm like, who do you think you're talking to and everything like that? And she's like, oh, blah, 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 getting real rowdy and real nasty, aggressive, and disrespectful. And it sucks to say, and I hate the fact that she was a Black woman because I know Black women, we get a bad rap sometimes. But I got to be honest, she was Black. She already had a lot of problems with everybody else. In the office, in the department, problems with managers, problems with other co-workers. She was just a very nasty, a nasty individual. And I'm like, girl, it's not that serious for you to be coming in doing all that. You're just doing too much. But anyway, she, just getting like I said, she was just like very loud, very rude. So like now all the coworkers are in there. All the food delivery people are in there. The other receptionists are watching us, and then the managers and the coworkers are trying to like break it up. So, you know, we go back and forth for a little bit for a while. And then it ends, and then, you know, I'm heated, I'm turning red. I'm very like, I can't focus on anything, so I have to go. So then a manager, he comes and talks to me, and I get really emotional. You know, I start getting teary-eyed and everything like that. And I'm just like, I just don't know like why this is happening. You know, I don't know why it's always my computer. And he kind of just like helped me through it and everything like that. So, you know, thank goodness that manager was there, because honestly, that day I was already having issues with this particular position. Kept it because during the pandemic, I was unemployed, so I was just trying to take anything I can get. So I said, no, I'm just gonna wait it out. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna stick it out till I find something better. You know, thank goodness I did eventually find something better. But still, like all of it was just so, it was just so unnecessary. And then a manager had the nerve to say to me, you know, well, you know, you're part-time, you know, she's in the union, so you shouldn't be arguing back and forth with her because she, you know, you're at will and she has a union backing her. And at that point, I'm like, I don't care. It just was so unnecessary. So, and then come to find out a few months later, after I got my new job, I heard from one of the other people that that manager that told me the same thing, like, do not go back and forth with her, don't argue with her. Would you believe that's the same manager that went back and forth with her and argued with her? He got fired. The manager got fired for telling me the same thing not to do. I'm just saying, it's just funny how life works out. And no ill will to the manager. The manager was cool, but it's just like, how you gonna tell me not to do something, and you obviously know this woman likes to get people riled up and she likes to push her buttons. So now you see where I was coming from. Rules for thee, not for me. You know, I'm thankful that she found a better job too, but I mean, people are very catty, very devious. That's it. That was my another work horror story. Yeah, lately I just been reflecting on my work experiences. Just what everything's going on. That's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Bye.